everyone. It's Nick and Ron with another edition of Ask Ron. How you doing today, Ron?
Good, man. Good. Perfect weather.
All right, I got a few questions from some Gold Club members here for you.
Okay.
First question is from Tony and Angie Stewart out in Ohio. Says,
Of course
hi,
it is.
Ron. I know you're not a tax accountant, but the question I have is when you pay out a referral marketing fee, let's say $1,000 for a house that you close on, do you have to issue them a 1099 or do you simply write it off as a marketing expense or both?
You definitely write it out as a marketing expense for sure. And whether you have to pay them a 1099, as I remember, they got to make $6,000 or yeah, 6,000 or something like that per
600.
year before you pay them a 1099, if you pay them a 1099.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's 600 though is
Oh,
the
600, right. Yeah.
the amount. Yep.
So they would be eligible, especially if you're writing it out in their name. It's, they don't put you in jail if you don't, but if they did catch you, they'd fine you. And I don't think it's all that big of a fine, but just as easy to send them a 1099 or send them a W, whatever it is. And you should, I know your accountant will tell you, yeah, you should report it. But now if you ask me, does everybody, I don't know the answer.
All right. Next question is from Jim in Minnesota. He's got three questions here. His first question is, how does your process sequence of steps change for virtual deals?
Well, to tell you the truth, not much. We didn't realize it until we started hearing that virtual after COVID, but we were already almost virtual. All the closing docs, going back years, I can't remember the last time I was actually in a real closing room with seller and buyer there. In fact, that's been done virtually for my best guess, at least 15 years. So, just send out the docs, you sign them, you send them back, or you sign them and you notarize them and you get them sent back, and it goes that way. So we were doing all of that already. So the only thing that I did different was that now if people didn't want us to, we couldn't go see their house. Truth is, we didn't have any trouble getting in people's houses, COVID or no COVID, okay? When you want to sell, COVID takes a back seat, all right? But we don't have to. So I got students that are buying houses all over the country now, and live in one place, buying houses in another place, because with the advent of technology, and especially this AI stuff, there isn't anything you need to do but visit the property, and you don't have to visit the property. Nobody has to visit it if you're not at big risk. Seller can walk through it and take videos for you, or you can get somebody to do it for you. You can even hire a realtor to do it for you for a small piece of change. And look for the bad parts about the house. Now, if I'm buying a house 4 states away and I'm paying cash for it, I'm going to send somebody out there to look at it as a professional. I'll probably go ahead and get a contract on it, then get a home, then title search, then home inspection. And that'll tell you, but we're going through one of those right now. That thing is that thick, and you can imagine all the crap they found, we didn't find when we did the work. So now we're in the middle of a contractor being out at the house and getting us an estimate to finish up all that little junk that we didn't do at that time. When you get a home inspection, it'll show you all that stuff. So totally reduces your risk dramatically. And then, of course, you can go all over the internet and get any kind of reports, is that a high crime area or whatever it is you want to know. And, how was the last time it sold, and check the square footage and all that stuff. You can do all that stuff on multiple websites, including our new dream system that we're launching shortly.
All right. To follow up on that, do you get the house under contract on the first call after reviewing the property info sheet and then send boots on the ground to get pictures?
I would not send boots on. Well, first of all, there's pictures probably of the house online on Zillow, but even if there isn't, the seller can send you some. But I'm telling you, you better get to the contract as fast as you can, if somebody's going to steal the deal while you're putzing around trying to get every I dotted and every T crossed. We do that after the contract sign. Now, I got an acquisitions partner named Adel. He goes to the house before we get a contract and gets the contract. But our students that are not doing that, buying houses all over the country, obviously email them the contract. Whether you want to do that before or after is entirely up to you. But I can tell you that the people that are wholesaling 200 or 300 houses a year, they They're not looking at the house, okay? They're just getting the contract because they got nothing to lose, all right? They're not even gonna buy the house. They're just gonna flip the contract. All right, I get that, we do that as well. So, who cares? What if I'm wrong? The buyer will tell me for sure. So I don't go through all those things that thinker brains want you to go through, because I have no risk. That's the key. I'm actually gonna buy it and pay cash for it. I'm gonna check all that crap before we close, but I'm not gonna spend any money until I have to get a contract, okay? And if it's a terms deal, I'm gonna get a contract first, because I've already got pictures of the houses and that's in good shape. And then I'll send somebody out there, or better yet, just get a home inspection. And then I'll know what I'm dealing with. In other words, pictures sometimes lie, okay? And I can't tell you how many times I went out to the house and somehow the pictures don't match the ones online for some reason.
All right, well, I guess that brings up the third part of his question here. If there are issues, can you negotiate the price down or cancel the contract?
Absolutely. I don't care who the seller is. Bank owned, individually owned, or personally owned. I don't care who it is. I know that well, actually, that's not true. I've negotiated prices down with any kind of seller you can run across, especially banks. They're very flexible. They got to move this crap, and they're going to keep it on the market till it moves. They don't have a choice. But FSBOs, I find it much easier to deal with than I do anybody else in the middle. That's where most of our money is from, FSBOs. It's not from listed properties, which includes bank properties. It's mostly from FSBOs, but I've bought a few listed properties in the past 12 months, but just a few, certainly not enough to call it a business. And so, you focus on getting your money from people who own houses, and then you can do anything you want to do. You can negotiate it anytime you want to and renegotiate it and so forth. And either they will comply or you'll bail out. If you bail out, you found good reasons to bail out that you didn't know when you got the contract. No big deal. Now you will forfeit your $10 deposit, so beware of that.
Risk, I guess, right? $10. All right. Okay, this last question, there was a little bit of a back and forth here, so I just wanted to get it on video here to clarify everything. I had answered this question for a student, Walter, who wanted to transfer his family farm from an LLC that they have it in now over to a trust, because he's concerned about having to report the ownership and all that stuff. He's got it all set up right now to where it's anonymous and it's just owned by the LLC, and the members of the LLC aren't on public record. So I recommended that, of course, he would want to have his attorney handle it for him, but he would use the warranty deed to trustee on our website to deed the property to the trustee of his new trust, and he would use the agreement and declaration of trust to appoint the trustee and the beneficiaries of the trust. He wasn't completely satisfied with that answer, so this was his response. Our little farm and residence are currently listed in the courthouse as being owned by a New Mexico LLC. We originally bought it with a Nevada C Corp, but chose to not renew it because the yearly renewal fee went up to over $800. Our names were not associated with this corporation, as Nevada Corps back then anyway offered anonymous ownership. So we transferred ownership from the corporation to the LLC. We simply showed it as a cash sale, with the nominee officer temporarily acting as both the corporate agent and the LLC agent. Immediately after doing the paperwork at the notary office, the nominee officer was resigned from both positions, again preserving the anonymity of the owners. We would be happy to leave it like this, except for the fact that recent changes in law require all owners and past owners of LLCs to report said ownership on an IRS hotline before this year is up. We have our reasons for not wanting to do this. Even if our farm and residence are transferred to a land trust before this year is up, the new law requires the same information relative to ownership of the LLC during the time it was owned. So having our property put into a land trust at this late date will be a little like closing the barn doors after the horses are out, but at least we can once again enjoy security of anonymous ownership, which hopefully will prove to be of value in the future. So this is my question. Why can't our LLC sell our farm to the land trust exactly as our Nevada Corp sold it to the LLC with no money actually changing hands? Or do you suggest some better way to do this? We really want to get this done ASAP.
And I read that question and I answered that question. And obviously does not like my answer either. The real answer here is you need to go see an accountant and an attorney before you create a mess. You can't go swapping all those properties around like that. The IRS is gonna have your head, man. Just go find a professional and get the answers that you can understand and believe. First of all, you said you sold it from a C to an LLC. Oh my God, that's a taxable event right there, period. If there was any kind of gain at all, and now you tell me you weren't on the title of the ownership, then you got so many holes that somebody opposing you could punch. My God, I don't know where this can go, and I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah, so he indicated that he sold it for the same price that he acquired it for initially from, so there was no
great
profit to be taxed, but I think
So
he's
what?
missing that there's
Okay.
still transfer tax.
I get all that, and I'm going to say, so what? Okay, you think you're outsmarting the IRS for wrong. You think you need anonymity, wrong. You're on the wrong track. It doesn't matter who finds out what you own. It matters that you protect yourself so they can't get it, even if they know you got it. A predator's coming after you. That's what you need to think about instead of all that fancy stuff that'll quickly be overturned by any attorney that's got the need to do so. Trust me, I've been through all this crap. You have no idea what a good attorney can do to you. You do not know the law, and frankly, many of them don't, but some of them are pretty darn good. I know I've had one chasing me for 10 years now, and it just keeps on coming. So do it right and get professional help, and don't even think about transferring any more of these things until you get that help and get an attorney in it. You may even need a special deed to transfer it because you're residents. If it's your residence, you're setting yourself up to pay taxes on it. Right now, it's just as safe in your LLC as it would be in a land trust. So the first thing I'd ask myself, is there any really need to change right now? And I'm not going to answer that for you because there's 50 states out there, and I try as hard as I can, but I can't remember all the laws in all 50 states. Get legal help. Okay, I'm off the soapbox now. Yeah.
Good advice, Ron. Good advice. All right, well, that's all the questions we have for this week.
Okay, all right. Then guys, get out there and get some leads generated. And we got several events coming up before the end of the year. Check our website and get involved and then get moving. I always tell everybody, training is worthless without implementation. And we'll help you implement. So if you're ready to take a move, you're ready to go going forward, what better time than right now, especially with an election coming. And we don't know who's going to win. Okay, by the way, you're looking at the left as a Democrat, just so you'll know. So, and I'm a Republican, so we kind of cancel out each other, but we don't have too many political conversations when we meet each other, do we, Nick?
Not too many, Ron, not too many.
Because one of us is going to say, man, why do you think that stupid way? But that's freedom of speech, my friends, and that's what we're all fighting over right now. So anyway, that's enough preaching for me today. I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, Ron. See you next week.